you have this option.
Yeah, I've started recording.
Okay,
Mhm.
great. So how's it going on?
So it is absolutely fine.
Going good?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So just one note, I may be not looking at you the entire time because
Okay.
I'll also note down your feedback in the system only. Else if I use my pen and paper, then I'll have to then put it back to
Okay.
system. Okay, so I will be using my laptop both for the session as well as I'll just listen to you at
Okay.
times and just note down the
Okay.
feedback part.
Sure.
Okay,
Hmm.
Shallow. So maybe let's start and then we'll have a chit chat at the end of the session. At the end
Sure.
of
Sure.
okay. Yes. Hi. Good morning.
Hi, sir. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, Shivam?
I'm doing fine, sir.
Okay. So excited or nervous for the interview?
Sir, both.
Both.
Yes.
Okay. 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 Great. So how has been your day so far?
Sir, it has been quite good.
O-
Filled with excitement as well as nervousness.
Okay.
Waiting for this day.
Okay. What are you nervous for?
Sir, this is something for which I have dreamt about for so long, and now the day is near. So I'm having this conversation with you.
Okay. So shouldn't it be the excitement phase rather than the nervousness phase? What is that thin line between excitement and nervousness?
So excitement. So the exciting thing is that um, I am actually uh, like the dream which I have dreamt for. I'm actually living that dream. At the same time, nervousness is that that if I do something wrong here, then I may not be able to go inside the dream college of mine.
Okay. So that should just make you more confident and probably more cautious about it. Why nervous?
Sir,
See, you are probably nervous about something that you think you are not prepared for. So are you not prepared for this interview?
so I won't say I'm not prepared for this interview. I'm prepared for it, and probably I feel that I have something to lose here, and that is why I'm nervous.
Okay. What is it that you have that you think you can lose? You have so many interviews in place. So let's say this interview, this particular interview of IMK doesn't happen good. And if you're not selected, is that the end of your life?
No, that is not the end of your life, but still it is one of the important goals in my life. So I would rather have a strike rate of full strike rate. No, I would not think of missing a target. I try to hit all the targets that is there.
Okay. But you still have multiple options in your hand, right? I can see you have multiple calls.
Sir, I would not think of multiple options as of now, because if you are thinking of two, if you are because if you are thinking that you have too many options, you may become complacent, and I don't want that complacency to creep in. So, uh, yeah,
Okay, Shivam, let's be not nervous. Let's start the interview. Fair? So just can you maybe in 3 sentences, can you tell us who is Shivam?
uh, sir, Shivam is an inquisitive person who wants to learn more, who wants to explore the world, who wants to solve challenges, uh, who wants to optimize the things which are going around in the world. I mean, whatever possible, who wants to give back to the society. Uh, so yes, this is Shivam.
Okay, so you talked about multiple things. You said you want to give back to the society
Mhm.
and
Uh, Sir, I'm someone who is inquisitive, who wants to learn new things, who wants to explore the world around him.
okay, you want to explore the world around you. What does this statement mean?
Sir, as of now, I don't have much knowledge of the things which are there. I mean, I have some knowledge, but that is constrained by a lot of factors, and I want to broaden my horizon. I want to broaden my understanding of the world.
Okay, so why don't you try for a PhD?
Uh, Sir, actually, if you are, I mean, I PhD is something where I would be seeing the impact of my work after after some long time, and MBA is a field where I can see the impact of what I am doing. I mean, the short term, the impact of my work will be visible in a short span of time.
How will it be visible?
So suppose if I'm working for a company and let's say the company has some targets to meet. Okay, so with my effort, uh, with my effort in consultation with other stakeholders of the company, I can realize the dream of the company and I can make that company meet its goal.
So that is something that you can still do now.
Sir, actually, I don't have currently. I don't have much knowledge of the different business functions. I cannot. I don't have that decision-making capability because I just know some part of the business, but I don't have understanding of multiple facets of business. So yeah, that is something which is a constraint for me right now. Which
And what are you doing to overcome this constraint? Do you read some books on this? Have you followed some like short courses?
Sir, sir, I'm interacting with people in the industry. So in my company, I've tried to interact with people. I mean, people from different backgrounds, and I've tried to gain their perspective about things. So that is something which I've learned a lot. That I mean, that has actually widened my horizon, widened my understanding.
Can you give one example?
Um, so, like, suppose if a company has some financial target to meet, okay, and they are planning, so suppose there is a financial target which a company has to meet. So, so for that, the company needs to streamline its operation in such a way that it is both of the things get aligned, and the strategies that the company follows, it is also relevant. I mean, so all these things are interlinked, all these things are interdependent. So that is something which I have learned from the leaders of my company.
No, no. I'm talking about. Can you give an example where you have actually interacted with the people? Maybe one specific situation in which you have interacted and then you have learned, which you think you can use in your near future to contribute back to the society or to the company.
So one thing which I've learned the from the so I had one of the interaction with one of my client. So where initially I was just interacting with their logistics team. Okay, after interacting with the logistics team, I realized that they are facing so many ground related problems that when I was working in the analytics field, I was not able to see those things. So what I understood is that ground level challenges are there, okay, which we as an analytics guy, me as an analytics guy, I was not able to see those challenges sitting at the corporate office. So
Okay.
maybe, so after that experience, I started going to the field visits quite often, and then I realized that going to those field visits actually made me understand a lot of things which I was not, previously I was not able to see those things while sitting at the corporate.
So now that you've learned so many things, how are you actually using it in your field?
So now, so my in my current work, I design solutions for the enterprise clients, as in who wants their logistics to be um, taken care by a third party logistics partner. So previously, the work that we used to do, it did not incorporate the operational challenges. Now that I've learned those things, so in my Excel model that I prepare, I try to get this. I try to incorporate all the findings that I have received from them, and on the basis of that, I previously the solutions that we were preparing, what some was ideal, now it has become more practical. It has moved from ideal to
Can you give
practical.
some example of this, because feedbacks are mostly subjective, right? When you go to clients, then those feedbacks are very subjective. But when you are actually designing a model,
Mhm.
the parameters have to be objective. So how do you
So,
transfer those subjective feedback into the objective parameters?
so I'll try to give you one example. So in my company, I design transportation solutions for different clients. So
Okay.
previously, what I
What do you
used
mean
to
by transport solutions?
by transport solution, I mean the items that the company is storing in their warehouses, it has to go from the warehouse to the dealers. So the cost part of it, so we used to simulate the costing of it. Okay, so previously, before before having this conversation with the on ground team, what we used to do was, so suppose the cost from point A to point B is 100 rupees, then we used to take point B to point A cost to be also 100 rupees. But when I met the on ground staff, on ground people, then I realized that this is not actually true. So suppose item moving from Mumbai to Bhubaneswar, it can cost some X rupees, but moving the same item from Bhubaneswar to Mumbai, it will not always cost X rupees. It can cost Y rupees. So this was something which I was not previously incorporating in my work.
Uh, Shivam, can you tell me what is the transportation optimization theory?
Um, Sir, I don't really know the actual theory, but I can tell you how we use.
Okay, yeah, please go on.
Sir, so how we optimize is, uh, we first try to find out what should be the optimum warehouse location from where should the item be delivered. Now, let's say if the item has to be delivered from Lucknow and you have two warehouses in Gurgaon and Jaipur, then the most optimum solution is to deliver the item from Gurgaon so as to minimize the transportation cost.
Okay,
So this is how we optimize it. I mean.
okay. And which tools do you use for the same?
Sir, we most of the time use Excel and R. So, like Excel, we use Excel because we have to provide the solution to the on-ground staff as well, because ultimately it is them who are going to use it. So, since Excel is easier for them to use, so that is why we use Excel.
Okay. And do you also know macros?
Sir, I don't exactly know macros, but yeah, if I have a code, then I can try to understand. And in fact, I have designed a distance calculator. So I did not actually know all the formulas and everything involved, but I know what is what. And after going through each line of the code, I was able to understand what each line is meaning, and I was able to tweak the code for our purpose. So ultimately, I was able to utilize the code.
Okay, okay, great, great, Shivam. Cool. So yeah, coming back to your introduction, can you
Mhm.
tell us what does your name mean?
Sir, my name Shivam means Lord Shiva or part of Lord Shiva.
And how many sons did Lord Shiva have?
Uh, Sir, I know of only two, Lord Kartikeya and Ganesh. So that is what I know.
Okay, okay. Fair. Do you have a paper and pen in front of you?
Yes, I do have. One second. Hmm. Yes.
Can you do 1234 into 7893?
1 2 3 4 into 7 8 9 3.
Yes.
Mm. Sir, for that, sir, I would first do 1 2 3 4 into 8,000,
Mm-hmm.
and I would subtract 1 2 3 4 into 107 from that. And for subtracting 1 to 107, I would do 1 2 3 4 into 100 plus 1 2 3 4 into 7. So that is how I would do.
Okay. Can you do it?
1 second, sir. Sir, I'm getting 9739962.
Okay. So Shivam, do you follow news?
Yes, sir, I do.
Which and what is your source?
Sir, I try to follow the Hindu. That is what I read.
Okay. Only the Hindu?
Sir, recently I've started. Uh, since I'm using laptop, so I have this extension called Live Mint. So I follow some news from that as well.
Okay. Can you give me two top news for the day?
Um, Sir, one is related to farm bills that the government the government is proposing to suspend the bills for the next 1.5 years. Um, the next important news which I've heard, uh, which I've read today is the India is planning to roll out vaccines to neighboring countries. Uh,
Which
like
country in
uh,
particular?
so Bhutan, Maldives. So India have already, I think, transported the vaccine, and for Bangladesh and Nepal, India is planning to do.
Okay. But and what do you think of this move, given that India has such a huge population and India had the second highest number of deaths? So should India first of all give the entire vaccination to its own country, or should it start exporting it?
Sir, actually, India is producing 60% of the total vaccine. Okay,
Okay.
so India is known to be the vaccine master of the world. In fact, Al Jazeera and BBC, these news platform has actually written in their website that the largest platform of vaccines, they are planning to roll out vaccines to its neighboring countries, and all the other developed.
So Shivam, where are you from?
Sir, I am from Muzaffarpur. It's in Bihar,
It's in Bihar. Okay.
right?
What is the capital of Bihar?
So Patna.
And who is the governor of Bihar?
Sir, Fagu. Sir, I forgot the name. So it's Mr. Fagu something. I forgot his title.
Okay. Who is the chief minister of Bihar?
So Nitish Kumar.
Okay. Can you give me some highlights of the recent Bihar elections that were held?
Um, Sir, so this was one of the closest elections which have happened in the past so many years.
Okay.
So if you look at the vote percentage of the two of the leading parties, so it was for the for the India government, it was around 37.6%. And
Can you tell me why do people perceive Bihar as a state with, like, illiterates and people who don't have much sense? So whenever people talk about Bihar, they just uh, perceive an image of the people who stay in Bihar. Why is it so?
Sir, it has particularly to do with the political history of Bihar. So, in particular, during 1960s to 1980s, the political condition of Bihar was very unstable. I mean, after every 1 or 2 years, there was a change in the government.
Okay.
So every leader which was coming, they were just focusing on their win, and there was not much development.
So what is the current literacy rate of Bihar?
So I think it is around 74%.
And is that in the lower half? Like, what is the average literacy rate of India?
Sir, I'm not sure, but I think it is like Bihar literacy rate is lower than the national literacy rate.
Okay. When is Bihar Day celebrated?
Um, uh, Sir, I'm not sure about it.
You're from Bihar, right? You've
Yes,
never
sir.
celebrated Bihar Day? You've never
Sir,
heard of
sir,
Bihar
I've
Day?
heard it. I think it's in May, if I'm not wrong, but I'm not sure about it.
Okay, okay, okay. Give me 5 pointers on the history of Bihar.
Um,
5 important pointers.
okay. Um, so in around 1985, Lalu Prasad Yadav came to power. Okay. Um, at that time he was friend with Nitish Kumar. he was a very close friend with Nitish Kumar.
Yeah. Don't go into politics. Give me some, like, a non-political angle.
Um, sir, sir, Bihar is a capital. So Patna, I mean, the Bihar is associated with Buddhist monasteries and Jainism. Okay.
Okay.
Um, it is actually the place where Magadh Empire flourished. That is the Maurya and Gupta Empire, which are really highly regarded.
And what is that time period of Maurya Empire?
Sir, I think it was around 1000 AD, around
Okay.
1000 AD. But
Okay.
I'm not very sure about the exact time period.
Okay. Okay.
Um, uh, and
Right. Let's move on. So, which state was created from Bihar?
Sir, Jharkhand.
Why?
Mm, sir, I don't know the reason behind it.
Okay. What is Muzaffarpur famous for?
Muzaffarpur is famous for lychee.
Okay. Any other fruit?
So it is majorly famous for lychee, though it's contribute to other fruits like mango as well.
Okay. And do they export lychee?
So they export to other states, and in fact, Bihar is responsible for 74% of the total lychee production in India.
Okay.
Mhm.
How many campus does BITS have?
So BITS have 4 campuses, 3 in India and 1 in Dubai.
What is the difference between BITS and BIT?
So BITS is established by GDPI,
Mm-hmm.
while BIT is not. BIT is established by some other. Um,
Who?
so I don't remember the name.
But still, they have their first three letters as same, right? So people usually conceive BIT Mesra as a part of BITS Pilani campus only.
Sir, they are from the same family, but I mean their root is from the same family, but
Okay.
they are different.
Okay. How is MSP calculated?
Um, Sir, I don't know about the exact calculation, but I think it is dependent on the market forces, as in, I mean, what is
Isn't that how? So you're just telling me that price is calculated by the law of market forces, demand and supply.
uh, sir, I'm not really sure about the
Okay.
exact calculation.
Okay. I see that you had a very high CG in your undergraduation.
Mhm, mhm.
So what led you? So like, what is the major driving force for you to score so well in your undergraduation?
Sir, my parents have inculcated in me the value of education, and I've always believed that it is education which shapes an individual. So, uh, while I was in BITS, my primary focus was education and learning, and in fact, I used to enjoy it. I enjoyed the entire learning process, and
Did you take this branch of chemical engineering or were you forced to take it?
sir, actually, I took this branch. I mean, I was willing to take mechanical or chemical. It is because of the subjects which I had studied in my JEE preparation. So, since I liked a couple of subjects, on the basis of that, I decided to choose either mechanical or chemical. But since I was not getting mechanical, so I went ahead with chemical.
Okay. So what is the third law of thermodynamics?
Sir, sir, can I take 1 second?
Yeah,
Few
yeah, sure.
seconds.
Take your time.
Sir, I'm not able to recollect the third law, but I can talk about the first and second law.
No, no. But we are interested in the third law. But isn't thermodynamics the basis of, like, chemical engineering? You
Yes, sir.
scored so well. You said your parents have inculcated in you the value of education and you're not prepared.
Uh,
Any reason for this?
Sir, I should have prepared for it. Uh,
Okay. Define entropy.
Sir, entropy is basically the randomness of the system. It defines how much disordered a system is.
Can entropy be zero?
Sir, it can be, ideally it should not be, but yeah, in reversible system it can be. The
Okay.
absolute value cannot be zero, but the change in entropy can be zero.
Okay. What is the symbol that is used to define entropy?
Sir, S.
Yes. Okay. What is the relation between Kelvin and degree Celsius?
Sir, Kelvin, degree Celsius is 273 plus Kelvin.
Okay.
In fact, 273.16.
Okay. Good. What is Avogadro's number?
Sir, Avogadro's number is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23.
But what is it?
Sir, it is basically how many atoms is required to have 12 gram of carbon.
Okay. And what is the difference between a mole and a molecule?
So mole is, sir, one mole is basically the number of atoms which is required to have 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 atoms, while one molecule is single entity.
What is carbon sequestration?
Sir, carbon sequestration is, so when carbon dioxide comes out of a process, then we first capture it and we try to store it so that to lower the emission of the.
Okay. So I also see that you have done some minor
Yes, sir.
in economics and finance.
I've taken courses in finance as well.
Okay. Why? Any particular interest?
Sir, I was exploring few things in campus. So I thought it would be a good learning experience to have some knowledge of finance. So that is why I took
What
it.
did you learn?
Sir, I learned about financial management and um, how you can uh, value a company, how valuation is done, and some related to stuff.
How do you value a startup?
Sir, sir, it is dependent on the future cash flow that we're expecting from the startup, and so the method that you are going to use is it can be DCF if so
And
DCF.
yeah, and what are the other methods?
Uh, sir, I'm not able to recall it.
Okay. What is the difference between micro and macroeconomics?
Sir, microeconomics is basically something at a company level kind of thing, at very small, as in it is something related to revenue and cost of the company, how you want to.
Company. Microeconomics is related to a company.
Sir, actually I'm getting confused between the two as
Okay.
right now.
Have you heard the name John Maynard Keynes? How did he
Sir,
define economics?
sir, I think he was the one who quoted this famous saying that in the long run all of us are dead, and he was the one who talked about how government should intervene and how government should participate during the time of when the economy is not doing very good, and how the how it can lead how government intervention can lead to upward spiral of economy.
Okay. So there is also this, like, Keynesian theory of employment.
Sir, I have not heard about it.
Okay, okay. Uh, what do you know about US-China trade war?
Um, Sir, China is, sir, the trade deficit which US is having with China. So they are trying to reduce the trade deficit, and at the same time, so US is looking for alternate options, and it is importing some duties on the Chinese products, and basically it is trying to insulate the incoming of the products which are coming from China, and it is moving towards towards different other countries looking for alternate
What is
options.
BOP?
I'm not sure about it.
Balance of payment?
Uh,
No?
I've
Okay,
not heard.
okay. Uh, do you know what is neo banking?
No, sir.
Okay. What is FDI and FII? Difference between these two?
Sir, FDI is, f- sir, I don't know the difference exactly.
Or okay, what is GDP at PPP?
So GDP is all the
GDP
value,
at PPP.
GDP and PPP.
GDP at PPP.
So GDP at PPP is basically the purchasing GDP. I mean, it is used to find the purchasing power parity of the country. As in, let's say a country is producing. Let's say it is basically used to. Uh,
Okay. What is the fiscal deficit of US?
Sir, I don't know the exact figure.
Okay. What do you mean by a normal good?
So, I'm not sure about it.
Okay. You mentioned that you have a cricket as your hobby.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Uh, when was the first cricket test match played
Sir, I think it was in 1836.
between?
It was between Australia and England, I think.
Okay. And what is the size of the stumps?
Uh, Sir, I don't know the exact size of this stump, but I can try to estimate it.
Okay. Uh, what is the record that our current cricket captain holds?
Our current cricket captain, sir, he has the record for the sir. He has taken the shortest number of innings to reach to 30 centuries. This is one record. He has taken the shortest number of innings to reach 10,000 runs.
Whose record did he break?
Um, Sir, I think he broke the record of Ricky Ponting, but I,
Okay. Mm, you also mentioned tracking is your hobby. How does tracking help you?
um, sir, trekking is something which I like because it reduces the mental pressure. It rejuvenates. It has rejuvenated me, and it has actually helped me revitalize myself when I was in college. And uh, I mean, I went to few treks, and I mean, that was a very good experience for me.
Okay, fine. So, see, you did chemical engineering, you did some minor, right? And you worked for operations.
Mhm.
So, why did you choose operations after doing a chemical engineering? Why did you not want to apply whatever you have learned?
Um, Sir, I pursued chemical engineering. I focused on academics because it was my primary thing to do in college. But when I became more serious towards my career choice, I was not very sure if I wanted to pursue a career in chemical. So
Then why did you waste your 4 years? Why did you not choose maybe something else in which you wanted to pursue a career?
sir, I won't say I wasted it. I've learned a lot of things in my engineering, which is actually helping me, uh, like my analytical ability,
How
analytical things.
is chemical engineering helping you?
Sir, in chemical engineering, I have learned how to deal with a problem, how to structure the thought, and uh, how to structure your approach towards problem solving. So those things have actually helped me.
How did you learn this as a part of chemical engineering? I think this is something that you can learn from any stream.
Sir, in fact, since I was involved in research and actually I enjoyed doing it. So in research, uh, you need to think what are the problems that you are going to solve. You need to go through what other people have done about it, and so these things have also helped me. So in my corporate career as well, this is how I ideally do. I mean, I talk to different people, and I so this actually widens my approach. So my learning in chemical has actually given me these abilities.
But Shivam, you were not even able to answer basic questions like entropy and thermodynamics. Are you sure that you actually learned, or you just
So,
mugged up and maybe got a CGPA?
sir, I won't say that. I think, sir, it has been 3 years. I should have actually, this should have been there in my mind, but
So
uh,
doesn't this prove that you are not applying whatever you have learned and you have actually wasted those 4 years of chemical engineering because of the fact that you could not recall it? If you would have been using your learning, then I'm sure you would have remembered it.
Sir, uh, sir, sir, I'm agreeing that I was not able to recall it, but like when you asked me about entropy, so I was able to think that entropy of a system can always increase, and the world always moves towards increase in entropy. So I was able to recall a few things. Yeah,
So
I
isn't
was.
this something that even we guys learn in our class 11, 12th chemistry?
Yes, sir, we had learned it. Sir, I think it is because of I was since I studied in my second year, so probably because of that I was not able to recall it.
Okay. So now that you're working in the operations, now that you actually enjoy, now you know that you are talking to so many people, you're learning and you can actually contribute to the company. Why do you want to leave it?
Sir, although I've got some experience in operations, but I still don't know about different business functions. I don't have a formal training towards it, and uh,
But why do you need a formal training? You said that you go and talk to different teams and then you are actually learning from it. So why not to just continue in the
sir,
same fashion?
though I'm learning from them, but still uh, I want to learn that skill, that how decision making in operations it is actually impacted by, or it gets impacted by the different business functions, which I'm not. Though like I suppose I get a task, then I approach a few people and I get to know about that particular task, but but I'm not currently in my job role, I'm not able to know what the general approach should be while going through a problem. So every time I need to talk to someone, and
But if you have already talked to someone, you know the approach, right? Then why do you have to talk to them again?
so I know the approach for that particular problem, but I am not sure if that approach can be universalized, and for that I think I need a formal training, and because
How
whatever.
do you know that the formal MBA is going to give you that particular approach that you need?
Sir, in MBA curriculum, I have to go through different courses and the case-based learning approach. So,
That you have already done at your BITS Pilani campus, right? You have done minors in economics, finance, chemical engineering. So you have already gone through different problems. Then you have experienced operations. Then you have talked to the customer. So I think whatever point that you're mentioning right now, you have already done it. What extra will you learn?
um, sir, as of now, sir, I have only limited amount of understanding of the entire business. I don't have the understanding of the, how an organization can work. So,
How an organization can work? You don't know this. So why don't you go and maybe talk to the CEOs and then learn from them? How does a company work?
uh, sir, for that, so that is why I want to do an MBA, because as of now I'll talk to only a few people, and then maybe I can learn from their experience. But if I go through a formal training process, then I will be able to learn from a diverse set of people. If I have a structured approach, then I can streamline my knowledge, and then I can.
So tell me, Shivam, do you want to be a good manager or do you want to be a good leader?
Uh, Sir, ideally, I would want to have a combination of both. Uh, a manager as well as a good leader.
What is the difference between two?
So manager is someone who manages tasks, who manages their employees. Leader is someone um, who the team can look up to, and who can set examples for the subordinates.
Okay. What is your one weakness?
Sir, I would say I'm not very articulate. Sometimes um, thoughts which are there in my mind, I'm not able to put it across. So that is one of my weaknesses.
Okay. How many seats are there in Lok Sabha?
Sir, 543.
Okay. And how many seats do you have in Bihar?
Sir, I think it is 40 seats.
It is 40 seats.
I don't know the exact number, but I am guessing because there are
Which
38
house,
districts.
which house is called as the lower house?
Sir, Lok Sabha.
Why?
Sir, so there are three types of functions. Sir, if I may divide the entire system into three parts. So one is legislature, one is executive, one is judiciary. So legislature actually implements the law. Legislature actually makes the law, and it then goes to the uh, it then goes to the executive, which implements the law. So the law making process, it happens first in Lok Sabha, and then it goes to Rajya Sabha.
Shivam, when was the Constitution of India written?
So it was written in 1946, but it came into effect in 1950.
Okay. And what is the difference between sovereignty, secularism, and
Uh,
which is the third pillar of your constitution?
Sir, I'm not sure about it.
Okay. How many union territories are there in India?
Sir, there were 7 union territories, and now Jammu and Kashmir has been divided, so now there are 8.
Capital of Mizoram?
So Aizawl, Aizawl,
Okay.
AIZAWL.
What is the diameter of Earth?
Sir, it is, I think, 6,500 kilometer.
Is that the radius or is
Sir,
it the diameter?
sorry, sir, 13,000 kilometer. Twice the radius.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the relationship between Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi?
Um, Sir, Rajiv Gandhi was the son of Indira Gandhi.
Are you sure?
Uh, yes, sir.
Okay. Can you draw the graph of x square equals to 4ay?
X square is equals to 4ay. Yes, sir, I
Yes.
can draw it.
Yeah. Draw and show me.
1 second. So it will be something like this.
Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What was your percentile in quant?
So 99.95.
99.95 in
In
quant.
in quant it was 99.93.
99.93. Okay. Are you sure that this is going to be the graph?
Sir, this is basically y equals to x square by 4a.
Okay.
So the graph of y equals to x square is like this. So the 4a factor is just going to squeeze or expand the graph along its shape.
Are you sure this is the only impact?
Um, so these like basically it will impact the slope at different points, but ultimately the shape is going to remain the same. It's just that
What if
suppose,
a is equals to -1?
so if a equals to -1, then the direction changes.
Then direction would change, right?
Right,
So which means a can have multiple impacts on the graph,
right.
right? Okay.
Mm.
Uh, what is the first derivative of this graph?
Sir, it will be 2x upon 4. It depends on with respect to what we are differentiating. We are differentiating with respect to x, then it will be 2x upon 4a.
What do you mean by first derivative?
So first derivative basically gives the slope of the graph, gives the tangent of the slope of the tangent that will be drawing at different points.
I didn't get you.
So sir, suppose if we choose a point in the graph, and if we draw a line above that point such that it crosses the graph only once, then how much angle is it going to make from the x-axis is basically the slope,
Okay.
and this is what the derivative is going to give me.
Okay. Who is the Ministry of Chemicals and Fertilizer?
Uh, Sir, I forgot his name.
Okay. Who is the Ministry of Agriculture and Farming?
Uh,
Okay. Give me the difference between logistics and supply chain.
So logistics deals with only logistics is uh, basically a subset of the entire supply chain, while supply chain includes procurement of raw materials to the delivery of the finished goods. The logistics just includes the transportation and warehouse part of the process. So it does not include the manufacturing and the initial things which happen.
So, can you explain me the entire value chain of delivery?
Uh, So, sir, delivery provides its services in warehouses and transportation. So, uh, currently, for few of the clients, we provide the entire logistics, as in we take the items from their plants and we store it in our warehouses, and then we ship the item from one warehouse to
You
different.
have your own warehouses?
Yes, sir. We have our own. Sir, for few of the warehouses we have taken on rent, and few of the warehouses are our own.
Okay. What is LIFO? LIFO?
So LIFO is last in first out. It is used in inventory, as in the first item which is coming. Um, so the last item which is coming, it will be moved out of the storage area first.
Okay. And FIFO? Application of FIFO?
So FIFO is basically, so suppose if there's one entry point and one exit point, so FIFO is like the item is entering from here and exiting from the other side. While LIFO is like there's only one entry and exit point, so whatever item is getting invoided, it will be stored at the very last, and whatever item is
Okay. What are push and pull based strategic systems? Like supply chain management strategies?
sir
Push based and
in
pull based? Yeah.
Sir, in pull-based strategy, the customers, they you don't have to push the product; they'll automatically buy it.
Okay.
While in the pull,
What is the capital of Kerala?
Thiruvananthapuram.
Governor?
So I don't know about the governor.
Chief Minister?
Sir, Mr. Vijayanan. Vijayanan.
Okay. Okay, Shivam, that is it from my side. Do you have any questions for us?
No, sir.
Okay. Yes. How's it?
Too many current affairs.
ठीक है. At least you had your first interview early, so now you know what all are the areas that you need to revise, brush up your graduation, what all are the different kinds of questions that can be asked. In maths, how do you have to visualize the problem? Always look for the variables which is involved. Don't simply start drawing the graph. First of all, visualize the question, write down its domain, see what all variables are there, whether it's a static function or it's a dynamic function, and then start approaching the problem. Okay. How would you rate yourself on a scale of 10 in this interview?
Sir, if I talk about the work experience, then I think I was decent in that. I could not do well in the graduation subject, which does not go well with the CGPA, with my
Hmm.
CGPA. So I have just 10 days left, and I don't know how to do.
ठीक है यार, I think 10 days are more than enough. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll just give you a feedback that I have written. ठीक है, and then maybe we'll discuss because I think it's already 10. तुम्हारा discussion is also on. So first thing, facial expressions were missing. You sounded nervous right from the beginning.
Okay.
Always have a smile on your face.
Mhm.
Then you started the interview in a very nervous tone. Matlab, you mentioned that I'm excited as well as nervous. Don't use any negative word in an interview.
Okay.
You can never ever mention this word nervous.
Mhm.
Then I asked you what who is Shivam. You could have been very much creative. So what I found was your answer just had some different adjectives A, B, C, D, E. So
Mhm.
start. You can be actually innovative and can impress in an interview panel by starting with Shivam, as the name suggests, Lord Shiva, and just try to map some qualities. And then maybe Shivam is a person who is from the state of Bihar, and he has been. Matlab, then maybe talk about your hobbies and your strength.
Okay.
ठीक है? Try not to use only adjectives to define you.
Okay.
Then don't talk many negatives about you.
Mhm.
I could not recall the instances, but I found that you were talking about your negatives. That something like in your answers, you were like, I cannot think about the business problem. I don't know this. I don't know this. I want to learn this. Matlab, you were a lot on the back foot.
Okay.
So don't portray yourself as you don't know. You can always be like, positive and come back and say, Ki, sir, I know these things, but yeah, these are the areas that I think if I know more, I would be a better person. So always
Mhm.
try to show only the positive side of you. Too much of negativity is not really good.
So what about that question that you said you are already experiencing from different people? So why do you want to do an MBA?
Correct. So uske liye I felt, see, using that word in your work ex was not, matlab, probably that was not a very good example because you mentioned that you are learning from the people. So I think example was more like it, you see, this is something that you can actually use as your advantage, that in your work you have realized only after talking to the people that there is a lot many variables involved while designing an ideal model, right? So you have actually talked to the people, and that is when you have got to realize that okay, these are the different areas that you should also know. So now
Mhm.
you don't have to vaguely say कि because I don't know these things I want to do an MBA. यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा था ना, तुम्हारा आंसर was more towards that. मैंने किया मेरे को नहीं आता, मुझे MBA करना है, नहीं आता MBA करना, नहीं आता MBA करना. It should be like properly mapped कि ठीक है मुझे ये सब चीजें आता है, and while I am actually working towards it, मैंने वहां से सीखा, मैंने काफी improvement हुआ, but still there are a lot of many things which I may not have discovered so far. This is just one of the area that I was lucky and fortunate enough to discover because of my client interactions. But there can be multiple variables which a
Mhm.
formal education in the MBA curriculum would be able to uncover. So
Mhm.
it then probably makes a better story कि ठीक है, तुमने, वरना क्या हुआ, मैंने तुमको उसके ऊपर काफी ज्यादा ग्रिल किया, फिर क्या तुमने
Mhm.
सीख लिया तो ठीक है, जाके और बात कर लो और सीख लो, है ना?
Mhm.
तो थोड़ा सा सिर्फ द वे इन विच यू वर फ्रेजिंग. देन
Okay.
ट्रांसपोर्टेशन मैट्रिक्स थोड़ी फेमस प्रॉब्लम होती है, एक बार उसके बारे में पढ़ लेना.
Okay.
While multiplying the numbers, you talked about the approach that was good. ठीक है, so always read out your approach that you did.
Mhm.
Current affairs में I think you were good. by by
Good.
current affairs,
Good.
yeah, correct. See, by current affairs basically has two parts, right? जो recent affairs होते हैं कि क्या चल रहा है, your opinion, and second part is the static part. So
Mhm.
static part में you were not good, but जो basically recent, जो जहाँ तुम्हारा opinion पूछा था मैंने, that were decent. You could talk about news में क्या है, वो सारी चीजें. ठीक है, बिहार के बारे में भी you knew, but then बिहार डे कब होता है, these are like important things. So maybe just जो मैंने सारे क्वेश्चंस पूछे थे which you were not able to answer, those questions on बिहार are important. बिहार की हिस्ट्री पता होनी चाहिए. ठीक है.
Sir, also I took courses on finance. I took courses on chemical. Now I have 10 days.
हाँ हाँ,
How should
आते
I
आते
manage?
उस पे भी आते हैं, उस पे भी आते हैं. एक बार पूरा फीडबैक कंप्लीट करते हैं पहले.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
ठीक है. Then instead of saying I don't know, you should always say, sir, this is something I cannot recall at this moment of time, but मतलब then move forward. ठीक है? Don't say I don't know. You know
Okay.
everything, but just say I cannot recall at this moment of time.
Okay.
ठीक है? झारखंड वाला इंसिडेंट तो पता होना चाहिए कि है ना, बिहार से झारखंड निकला था, वो तो फेमस है. So just read about it. MSP calculation, यार, we have already done this, right? We had this as a discussion topic. So I don't know why don't you know this, but this was already discussed, and that's an important thing. तो MSP calculation के 4-5 पैरामीटर्स होते हैं, दे जिसमें कुछ recent developments हुई है. Read about it. ठीक है? Thermodynamics काफी important topic है. Should know first law, second law, third law, कितने law होते हैं. Then financial and economics का knowledge was very less. Financial knowledge नहीं था. Need to revise economics and graduation subjects. क्रिकेट के बारे में थोड़ा पता करना पड़ेगा. ठीक है? मतलब क्वेश्चंस लाइक जब तुम कह रहे हो कि कोहली ने ये रिकॉर्ड तोड़ा, तो वो रिकॉर्ड किसका तोड़ा वो भी पता होना चाहिए कि मतलब who was that person. तो थोड़ा उस पर रिसर्च कर लो. Then you needed better answers for operations after chemical engineering. क्योंकि जो तुम्हारा आंसर था वो काफी तुम उसमें फंबल कर रहे थे कि मैंने केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग किया, बट फिर मुझे लगा कि लाइक यू नो एक करियर के लिए मुझे ऑपरेशंस करना है. मतलब वो स्टोरी कनेक्ट बिल्कुल नहीं हुआ. वहां से सिर्फ ये निकल के आया कि तुमने 4 साल वेस्ट कर दिए.
सर तो उसका बेटर आंसर क्या होगा?
यार आई डोंट नो. इसमें मतलब इतना इम्प्लिसिट तो नहीं है. थोड़ा सा सोचना पड़ेगा कि तुमने ऑपरेशंस क्यों लिया. मतलब इट इज गुड टू से कि प्लेसमेंट हुआ था मेरा, मतलब फर्स्ट डे आई थी एंड देन आई गॉट प्लेस्ड, प्लस वहां पे व्हाट यू कुड से इज कि ऑपरेशंस में जो नॉलेज चाहिए दैट इज मतलब प्रॉब्लम सॉल्विंग अप्रोच चाहिए, इंक्विजिटिवनेस चाहिए, और लाइक यू नो एल्गोरिथम वाइज तुम अच्छे थे. तुमने फाइनेंस और इकोनॉमिक्स और जो भी मैथ्स रिलेटेड जो भी कुछ कोर्सेज किए थे वो किए थे तुमने एज ए पार्ट ऑफ योर कोर्स. इन केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग में तुमने कोर कॉन्सेप्ट समझा केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग, बट उसके साथ साथ तुमने बहुत सारे सब्जेक्ट्स भी लिए, लाइक मे बी कुछ मैथ्स का लिया होगा, कंप्यूटर साइंस का लिया होगा, कुछ इकोनॉमिक्स फाइनेंस का लिया होगा, ताकि यू हैड अ बैलेंस. तो ऐसा नहीं है कि तुमको मतलब केमिकल के अलावा बाकी चीजें नहीं आती है. तो वो आती है एंड फिर प्लेसमेंट में आया एंड देन यू वर एक्चुअली एबल टू इम्प्लीमेंट, मतलब यू वर एबल टू एक्चुअली अप्लाई जो भी तुम्हारा नॉलेज है. इसलिए
सर ये तो हो गया कि आपने ऑपरेशंस में क्यों गया. इसका क्या हुआ कि आप केमिकल में क्यों नहीं गए?
केमिकल में क्यों नहीं, वो तो मतलब उसको आई थिंक यू कैन एक्चुअली बी ऑनेस्ट कि सर जो प्लेसमेंट्स में कंपनीज आई थी आई सेट एंड आई वाज मतलब आफ्टर ग्रेजुएशन आई डिड नॉट वांट टू रेस्ट्रिक्ट माई सेल्फ टू ओनली गो टू अ पर्टिकुलर सेक्टर. आई न्यू कि मैं उस स्टेज में हूँ अपने करियर पे जहां आई कैन एक्चुअली ब्रॉडन माई होराइजन. आई वाज ओपन टू लर्न, हेंस आई डिड नॉट बाउंड माई सेल्फ बाय ओनली माई ग्रेजुएशन स्ट्रीम, एंड हेंस मैं केमिकल के अलावा मतलब मैं so I was even open to the core a chemical job, but because मेरा placement यहाँ हो गया था, hence this is where I am.
Okay.
ठीक है? तो this is still like you know convincing कि ठीक है तुम गए थे एकदम open mind के साथ कि तुमको जो भी कंपनी आएगी, जो अच्छी कंपनी आएगी जहाँ पे तुम्हारा हो जाएगा, तो यहाँ पे हो गया, hence you are here. ठीक है? Then हाँ, you also fumbled in why MBA after operations. वो इसीलिए क्योंकि प्रोबेबली जो लाइंस तुमने पिक करी थी कि मुझे सीखना है मतलब तुम बहुत ज्यादा उसमें आ गए थे कि मुझे ये भी नहीं आता वो भी नहीं आता इसलिए मुझे एमबी करना है. तो बहुत ज्यादा लाइक यू नो जनरलाइज्ड आंसर हो रहा था. तो उसमें थोड़ी सी नीड है आंसर को ट्वीक करने के लिए. सी ये ना डिफरेंस होता है जब तुम आंसर लिखते हो ना पेपर में फॉर्म में वर्सेस व्हेन यू आर स्पीकिंग द सेम आंसर इन एन इंटरव्यू. डिफरेंस हो जाता है क्योंकि सुनने में इट हैज टू बी स्टोरी. अच्छा मतलब फ्लो लाइक एक कनेक्ट होना चाहिए. पढ़ने में थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट होता है. ठीक है? देन वीकनेस तुमने बताई, मैंने बताया था कि whenever you talk about your weakness you have to mention how do you improve it. तुमने सिर्फ तुम्हारी वीकनेस बताई, you did not talk about how you are trying to improve on it. ठीक है? तो प्रोबेबली क्योंकि इतना स्ट्रेस हो गया था कि तब तक तुम फिर भूल गए थे. देन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के बारे में पढ़ लो. 26 जनवरी आ रहा है एंड उसके बाद फरवरी भी है, सो यू शुड नो प्रेमबल कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन ऑफ इंडिया. कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स आईएमके के इंटरव्यूज के हिसाब लिए मतलब एक कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स इंपॉर्टेंट है. एक बार नॉर्मल गूगल सर्च करो कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स ऑफ इंडिया, एक लिंक आता है जिसमें सारे कैबिनेट मिनिस्टर्स गिवन है ना. ये केमिकल का कौन है, एग्रीकल्चर का कौन है, वहां वो थोड़े से इंपॉर्टेंट ध्यान रख लो. देन ऑल्सो रीड अबाउट ए केरला सीएम गवर्नर, क्योंकि आईएमके का इंटरव्यू होगा तो एक केरला के बारे में तुमको पता होना चाहिए. एंड लास्ट ऑलवेज हैव अ क्वेश्चन फॉर द इंटरव्यूअर। इस बार नहीं था।
सर वो मतलब क्या जनरली क्या क्वेश्चन होना चाहिए, मतलब मेरा जो ऐसे कुछ कुछ मैं सोच
यार
रहा था कि
डाला है मैंने, एक पोस्ट डाला है, एक बार उसको चेक कर लो। फेसबुक ग्रुप में एक टॉपिक बना हुआ है पर्सनल से 4 क्वेश्चन, उसमें मैंने 3-4 सजेशंस डाले हैं। तो IIMK का एक बार लाइक करिकुलम भी देख लो कि वहाँ पे क्या है, क्या अलग है। एंड यार प्लस तुम एनालिटिक्स से हो ना, तो ये भी एक क्वेश्चन आएगा, PGP BA क्यों नहीं लेना है। IIMK में भी है ये शायद BA का प्रोग्राम, तो BA के अंदर क्यों नहीं करना है, नॉर्मल के अंदर क्यों करना है। तो उसका भी ध्यान है। मतलब उसमें तो ठीक है, तुम बोल सकते हो कि तुमको अपना, तुम अभी उस स्टेज में हो जहाँ तुमको मतलब that you are actually open to all the streams. You don't want to restrict yourself only into analytics.
और
फिर
ये बहुत ऑपरेशंस फोकस तो नहीं रखना है ना कि मतलब ऑपरेशंस में ही जाना है इस टाइप से।
नहीं नहीं नहीं, गो विद एन ओपन माइंड। ऑपरेशंस वाला नॉलेज सही था तुम्हारा, ठीक है, चीजें आती थी, बट गो विद एन ओपन माइंड। मतलब यू कैन एक्चुअली यूज दिस एज एन इंस्टेंस कि तुमको मतलब ये होना चाहिए कि जो जो तुमने किया वो तुमको आता है अच्छे से। बस ये बोल सकते हो कि मेरे को ऑपरेशंस आता है, मेरे को केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग आती है, बट रिवाइज कर लेना, ठीक है। माइनर वाली चीज थोड़ी सी
सर वो
मतलब
आपका वो
डेंजर।
फाइनेंस वाला एक वीडियो आ रहा था ना,
क्या
आपका एक फाइनेंस वाला वीडियो आना था ना, उसमें
वीडियो?
कितना कवर, फाइनेंस वाला, फाइनेंस रिलेटेड।
अच्छा, सेशन, लाइव
हाँ
सेशन।
हाँ हाँ, सॉरी सॉरी सॉरी।
हाँ, आई थिंक 26 जनवरी को है वो। जानवी ले रही, शी इज अ सीए एंड माय बैचमेट फ्रॉम IIM Cal, सो शी विल बी टेकिंग इट। उसमें हो जाएगा मोस्टली तो कवर, आई डोंट थिंक। प्लस आज जो मैंने मतलब क्वेश्चंस पूछे, नॉर्मल गूगल कर लिया करो, क्योंकि वो लोग भी ना यही करते हैं, टॉप इकोनॉमिक्स इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन, फाइनेंस इंटरव्यू क्वेश्चन, जो ऊपर की लिंक्स आती है, मतलब उनके पास भी ऐसे ही होते हैं क्वेश्चन बैंक्स।
और सर ये मुझे थोड़ा सा उसका डर है, स्पोकन इंग्लिश का।
फर्क नहीं पड़ता, देखो यार, एज लॉन्ग एज तुम्हारे मतलब अभी इस टाइम पे नीड ऑफ द आर इज कि तुम्हारे आंसर्स डिसेंट हो, तुम्हारा एक्सप्लेनेशन सही हो, लॉजिक सही हो, इंग्लिश में इतना ज्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा।
हम्म।
इट्स ओके, मतलब सी, दैट इज समथिंग दैट यू एनीवेज कैन नॉट चेंज ओवरनाइट, वो 10 दिन में चेंज नहीं होगा। बट
हम्म
आंसर्स जो तुम दे रही हो, जो तुम्हारा फ्लो है, लॉजिक है, इट कैन बी चेंज्ड।
हम्म हम्म,
ठीक है,
ठीक है।
तो थोड़ा सा ऐसे डिवाइड कर लो चीजों को, कि पहले एक बार पर्सनल्स वाले जो है क्वेश्चन उसको थोड़ा स्ट्रीमलाइन कर लो, ठीक है, एंड देन स्पीक आउट। मतलब हमेशा लिख के रिव्यू कराने में उतना सेंस नहीं होगा जितना तुम ज्यादा मॉक इंटरव्यूज दोगे या फिर मे बी वीडियो के सामने देखोगे, है ना।
हम्म
जो भी नेक्स्ट स्लॉट हो रहा है अवेलेबल, मेरे साथ तो हो गया इंटरव्यू, अब मे बी मयूख से ले लो, मतलब जो भी स्लॉट्स ओपन है, एक आध इंटरव्यू और ले लो IIMK के पहले, बट
ठीक है
आफ्टर ब्रशिंग अप ऑन जो भी अभी का फीडबैक है।
ठीक है
ठीक है,
ठीक है सर।
चलो, ऑल द बेस्ट, बाय बाय।
बाय सर।
डिस्कशन ज्वाइन करते हैं, ठीक है, बाय।
ठीक है सर, बाय।